Hi, my name's Phil Russo, and I'm sure you've seen other people talking, and I'm here to talk about Chris Quartermatch, which we all know we should never say his last name because we all fuck it up. We all butcher it. I shouldn't be cursing, but sorry, this is my video and this is who I am. Um, Chris was diagnosed with ALS November 2019, and our story, is happening now in February 2020. And, I want to sit here and tell you all the wonderful memories that I've had with Chris. But those of you who don't know, I dated him for 4 years. So I'm going to go in a little bit to our journey without going completely crazy. But we dated for 4 years, and I met him at University of Tampa. I I don't necessarily believe in love at first sight, but I was so enamored by this boy and his muscles and his tan Florida skin and him as a whole that I needed and wanted him, and I was going to do everything in my power to get him. We were actually dating the same person, at the same time, and I made sure that wasn't the case. And we started getting lunch every day together, and I got kicked off the campus because I'm whatever. And he started sleeping over all the time, and we just like really hit it off and started having all the same friends and, intermingling circles. And it was such a great experience because I honestly didn't care about school, and I didn't care about being in Florida, and I didn't care about anything but him and making sure that he was in my life because I saw the future, and it was amazing, truly. Um, so our journey goes from there. School didn't work out for me, so we left Tampa and actually moved to his hometown in New Hampshire. So I'm a partial city boy going to this dirt road and going along with Chris Quartermatch, who is the essence of New Hampshire, but also Florida. And man, I loved him. Like, I was so completely obsessed with him. It's actually embarrassing to talk about now because I spent 4 years with him, and like our journey just got us to this amazing place. So going to New Hampshire, um, lived there for a little bit, started working retail. We worked at Abercrombie and Fitch together, which, as you know, if you've worked retail or there, it's hell. So that was, the fucking just what made us even closer. Because if we were able to conquer that, we could conquer anywhere. To which point we then moved back to Philly. We got our first apartment after being together for about a year and a half, 2 years. I'm bad at math. And we lived in Norristown, Pennsylvania, which, if you don't know and aren't familiar with the Philadelphia area or the outskirts of that, it's trash. Like, we lived in this apartment. You could put a can of beer on the ground and it would roll to the side of the room because it was that crooked. And we made it work. We built some furniture, got some cheap couches from family and friends, and we made it work. At the end of it, we were working, two part-time jobs. I was trying to go back to school. That didn't work. And the entire time that all of this was happening, and kind of fast forwarding to now, Chris was a person that cooked for me. He cleaned for me and took care of my sorry ass. And I will never forget that because the roles are reversing, and it's completely hard to watch somebody that never sat the hell down and never stopped cooking and cleaning and making sure that just everything was so perfect without actually using the word perfect because that's impossible. But he would get so damn near close that I'd be like, how did you just make this dish? How is this whole house completely spotless? Like, never in my wildest dreams could I ever. But looking at someone that's now in a wheelchair, that's losing mobility of his hands and his feet, and his breathing is heavy, and to go from being the perfect housewife while still working and just being overall this really great person to this now is just like the hardest thing to watch. Like the hardest thing to watch. The hardest thing to like have to accept, honestly. And I think that our journey going from Tampa to, trash of Narstown to both, getting to a point where obviously we're not together now. We broke up after 4 years. He broke up with me. How could he? Um, and um, he broke up with me after 4 years, and I was completely beside myself. And I begged for him back because at that point, I just lost the best thing in my entire life. Like, fuck everything else. Like he was my everything, and there was, a long period of time where I completely resented him and I would not let him enter back into my life. But at the end of the day, because of knowing how truly amazing he was, I don't resent him. I don't I don't want to take back that he broke up with me. I don't want to change the fact that all of these things led to our friendship and how amazingly large and beautiful, and still being able to have that person in my life. Because we know gays think they're in love with someone, want to marry them and have kids in a year, and they're don't even recognize that they're not friends with them. And that is my person. Like, that is my dude. He's not my boyfriend. He's not my husband. He's not my fiance. He's not someone that I share any type of relations with. But he is somebody that I am so incredibly grateful to still have and to call one of my best friends. And he probably knows more about me than I would even like to admit, and we won't even have to go down that rabbit hole. But at the end of the day, I would not change our journey. I would not change anything about him. And at the end of the day, whoever you are watching this and looking at me knows that should know that he does not deserve this. It is like every time I wake up and I stand out of my bed that I'm currently sitting on and think to myself, Chris doesn't have legs like I have legs anymore, and he was the man that needed 20 legs to accomplish everything that he was willing to take on. Really hurts, man. Like, he is above and beyond human being. And I have not quite figured out why God or whoever, the person that deems all things, made this man a chosen ALS struggler, survivor, person that has to live with it day to day. And I think that what you should take from this and what you can learn from my many years of being with Chris, whether it was in a relationship or just as a friendship, is that this is a human being that has gone 28 years as of November on this planet and deserves so many more. He deserves so many more years to pursue more of his career. And just like, well, I would get jealous because he would just like get promoted over and over and over again and just go from this store. And then he went to New York, and then like all hell broke loose, and we all got that news in November. And in turn, I may not now, right now, not be willing to admit that he's leaving us, but I do know that he's made an incredible impact on me and all my wonderful friends that have completely gone out of their way. Taylor, Jess, Dana, Maddie, and I'm not going to name every single person because that's so obnoxious, but like every single person has felt the exact impact that I am honored to say that I can go day to day still knowing that he was a part of my life. And all I can do at this point is share my story and my time on this earth with him and ask you not for your money. If you don't have money, I understand. I don't have money. I wish I had thousands of dollars to give to him because I would. But donate what you can. And then on top of that, I just ask that you spread this message. It is one of my favorite things to do is to tell this story and tell his amazing story and just cry. And everyone that knows me knows that I'm not emotional, and this is something that's truly really hard for me to do right now. And I just want you to listen to this long blurb and recognize that this isn't someone that you're just giving money to. This isn't, any other survivor for any other cause. Like, fuck ALS, fuck cancer, fuck anything. Let's focus on who this human being is, what he's done for all of us, and how we can give back and support him in any way that you're capable of doing. And for that, I'm honestly forever grateful. And I really hope you hear all of our messages. And thank you.